G'day to all you legends out there. What a cracker of a season we are witnessing. Before we get stuck into this deep dive on our number 9, do us a massive favor, smash that like button, chuck a comment down below if you reckon he's already better than the old school greats, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single bit of our NFL journey. Your support is what keeps this club massive. The story of Matthew Stafford is, above everything else, a tale of grit and being proven right way late in the game. Bagging that MVP trophy for the 2025 season at 37 years old didn't just add a bit of silverware to his cabinet. It absolutely shredded the talk that he was just a stat padder from his days in Detroit. Ryan Clark, the ESPN analyst and former defensive back who's felt the sting of Stafford's arm firsthand, didn't hold back. We are looking at an all-time top 10. And he's spot on. The Stafford we saw in 2025 was a proper maestro, mixing that vertical aggression he's always had with a tactical maturity fit for the greatest field generals to ever step onto the turf. To understand Stafford's impact, you've got to look at the cold hard numbers, which are looking pretty bloody good now with the wins to back him up. He's sitting 6th in passing yards and 7th in touchdowns in the history of the league. But for years, those stats were brushed off because he was stuck in Detroit. Back with the Lions, Stafford was playing in survival mode. He was the quarterback who had to chuck it 50 times a game just to keep the team in the hunt. Moving to the Rams wasn't just a change of scenery. It was setting a generational talent free. That Super Bowl ring was the first stamp of quality. The 2025 MVP is the final proof that Stafford is operating on a level very few in history have ever reached. What makes Stafford a top 10 bloke? It's not just the cannon for an arm, but his knack for reading the play and his mental processing. In 2025, we saw a quarterback who didn't need to force the ball into impossible windows anymore, though he still does it with scary precision. His throwing mechanics, even when he's under the pump, stay among the smoothest in the league. He manipulates safeties with his eyes like a pro and has the guts to pull off a no-look pass when the game's on the line. Tactically, Stafford's become a nightmare for defensive coordinators because he can pull their system apart before the ball is even snapped. When Ryan Clark puts him in the top 10, Stafford joins a conversation with names like Brady, Manning, Montana, and Marino. Might sound like tall poppy syndrome to some, but if you look at his consistent output and his ability to win with different squads, the argument holds water. He's got the longevity of Favre, but with a postseason efficiency that shut the critics right up. Stafford is the last of the true gunslingers who's adapted to the modern NFL, where tactical schemes often stifle individual flair. With the news is coming back for 2026, Stafford isn't just making up the numbers. He's chasing what could be the final clincher for the Hall of Fame, a second ring or locking in stats that would put him in the all-time top 3. Stafford's journey is a reminder that talent, when it finds the right home, is unstoppable. The debate about where he sits in the all-time rankings will keep raging on, but one thing's for sure, no one dares call Matthew Stafford average anymore. He's elite. He's a legend. And he's not done yet, mate.